So, hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Talitha, and we are live with the Wednesday night special, The Review. And I'm going to kick Pepper again because Bobby always allows her to come in here and mess with us. Get down.
Buddy, chill out.
Get down. We're trying to do some stuff.
30 minutes, okay?
Yeah, we're trying to handle business. Go over there. Go. Go over there. Because you didn't even watch the movie with us.
She tried.
Anyway, she didn't. Yeah, so the movie that we're going to review today is called
Both Eyes Open.
Both Eyes Open. So this was a movie that we found on Stars. And I like Tristan Wilds. I think that's his name, Tristan Wilds. So Tristan Wilds, a while back, the first time I saw him was actually in the reboot of Beverly Hills 90210, I think. And then we saw him in a couple other things or whatever. But I like him. He's a good actor. And I saw the trailer, and he was playing a bad guy. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get into this. Let's watch this and see, you know, where it goes. And yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't care for it at all. It was very, very slow starting, you guys. Spoiler alerts. It was very slow starting. Who was the main character? Because she started
Gail
being
Bean.
her name's Gail Bean.
Gail Bean.
Oh, Gail Bean. Okay. What else has she been in? Because I've seen her in a couple other things. She's starting to kind of come out and do her thing, and I've seen her. You know,
P-Valley, Stonefall.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So P-Valley. What else?
Snowfall.
Snowfall.
She's from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Okay. And
so shouts to Georgia.
Yeah, and so she was in the movie, and then there was a special appearance by Taye Diggs, which I didn't know that he was going to be in the movie, I don't think, until we actually saw him in the movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's in the movie. But it was a slow start, and it got muddy in the middle, and I think that the writer, whoever it was, I'm not sure who the writer was or who the director was, but it lost a whole lot for me because it never really explained the storyline, really. It kind of left you in the dark. Did it leave you in the dark? Remember, we were kind of like, okay, well, who is this chick? And, you know, why is she so scary? And how it started out. And then in the middle of it, they didn't show Tristan until like almost mid-movie. You know, they kind of showed like little clips of him or whatever. But he had like a small part. It wasn't really as big as I thought it was going to be in the movie. So it was kind of mainly about her character and kind of what she experienced. And then they introduced a couple of other characters, which were, you know, they tied them into the storyline, but it just wasn't a good flick to me. I think you fell asleep. Did you fall asleep on it?
I don't think so. I mean, I was, you know, the only reason I stayed watching is because every time I see Taye Diggs in a role now, it's like watching Robin Williams in a really great blackface.
Bobby, why? And he kept saying that too. I'm like, no.
There's something about him that's just real not. I don't know. What did she find? What is that?
Pepper, leave that alone.
Thank you for getting that, but leave it alone.
Now.
Yeah, you know, and I saw a new actress in there. I was just looking on the actress list to see what people are. Chrissy Leverett, she's a basketball player, but she's a writer and director. That was
her friend,
the main character's best friend. Or
okay.
Whatever.
Did she write this movie?
I don't know.
Okay, but she is a writer and director.
Mm.
Yeah,
I thought she's cool, and I thought Taye Diggs was great for, you know, what he does, but I just didn't.
Taye Diggs had like a really small part, and it was really unnecessary.
It was real unnecessary, but he did give enough to the movie to make you think that something else was going on.
And it wasn't, you guys.
But you all gotta have that, or you're not gonna watch it at all.
Of course, you're not gonna watch it at all. But they failed me on the something else is going on because I wanted something else to really be going on, and it wasn't.
Right.
And so the movie fell very flat to me. They also introduced same-sex type of you know, romance or whatever, and it's just crazy because I'm like, okay, so every time they're introducing same-sex romance now, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, and you can disagree with me all you want to, it's my opinion, I feel like they're introducing same-sex situations after a bad breakup or after the character has been with a guy, and then they like, oh, well, let me try women. And it loses its authenticity, because I'm like, okay, if I like men, I like men. Like, I'm not gonna switch just
right,
because.
They're steady painting it out like it's a rebound for a bad situation.
Yeah.
So they're already painting it out like the whole lifestyle is wrong. If I was in that lifestyle, I would be pretty damn mad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like, if we were in the alphabet lifestyle, I would be pretty upset seeing this kind of depiction. Like, man, what? Yeah. You're trying to say that my lifestyle was a failure from the start? Because that's what it looks like they're always trying to paint out.
Yeah,
it's some sort of weird kind of way.
Because it's almost where, if that's my lifestyle, that's what I choose, then that's what I choose, like I said. And so it's not a lot of flip-flopping, but now, they're kind of trying to paint it out where you can flip-flop, like, oh, I like men, and they wasn't working for me, so now I'm finna go to the other side, It's like where actually, and that's for women, but a lot of times, men they don't get that option. Like, you don't see a man like, okay, I'm finna be with women, and then most of the time, if he like dudes, he like dudes. He's not gonna flip-flop like that, And so I feel bad that they're depicting it like that. They're depicting it like, oh, these men are so bad, now we just have to go to women. And I told y'all already know how I feel about the fact that society is trying to shut down men, their opinions, their person, everything about them. Society is trying to say that they're wrong. And so we're going to look up and we're going to have a society of that's manless, pretty much. And I don't care what you say, a woman is not the same as a man, period. They're not. They're not equal in the least bit. We're just not. We're not. There's a lot of things we can do that are similar to one another, that are similar. We can have all kind of, the same roles as far as the house, in a marriage, all these things. But at the end of the day, men were designed differently from women. And that's just the way it is. And so I feel like if we don't wake up soon, and if we don't start getting back to family, all of our men are going to be gone. We're going to have a manless society. And so I didn't care for that depiction. I just didn't care for the movie at all. But, if you guys like Tristan Wilds, he was okay in the movie in the little tiny part that he had. If you like Taye Diggs, he was okay in the little tiny bit part that he had. But if I had to give the movie 1 through 5 score, I'm going to give it a 1.
I'm going to give it a 1 and Talitha a 1 because I specifically found 2 or 3 movies to watch after this, so that way we didn't have to review this.
Yeah.
And I said I wasn't going to review this, and she just totally disregarded the other 2 films, which is fine.
No, because the other 2 films were really interesting, but it was weird. The other film that we saw with the guy that's kind of, whatever his name is, the guy that was the assassin. It was hard to really review that too, though, because it didn't have a storyline either. No, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you painted him as an assassin, and then he was assassinating the wrong people, or he was with the wrong people. So it really.
And it what stopped him and changed his mind was one. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't really. So these are the 2 movies that I remember. And I remember you saying that you wanted to do that other movie, but I'm like, when I thought about it, I'm like, that's not a whole lot we can do.
That rug off that creeps me out. I felt like a person back there.
Yeah. You guys, it fell. The rug fell. Sorry, red carpet. Right. Anyway, and so he gives it a 1. I give it a 1. If you guys want to see it, you guys can. But what's it called? No words, no eyes open, both wide. What?
Both eyes open.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember it. That's how bad it was. Geraldine and Tristan Wilds. Tristan Mac Wilds. I was trying to figure out that boy's name forever and could not figure out his name. Yeah. And so now we are going to go with the last place that we ate. That was good. Last week we did Husong's, I think.
Oh, I got one for you if you want to do a review.
Okay.
Let's review all these fish sandwiches coming out of all these little restaurants carrying on.
What fish sandwiches? You talking about like fast food?
Fish, yeah, the what's that McDonald's called? The McTrash, the McFish fillet, the McFilet.
I don't know.
Whatever they're making the fish out of, dude, it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they require them to microwave them and then throw them in the toilet, then microwave them again. But whatever it is, I've had 2 different types of...
Did he say throw it in the toilet?
I've had one at Wendy's, I think, and I had one at McDonald's. And they were both equally as garbage. It was the worst tasting fish I've ever had.
Yeah, these
I don't know what it is.
This near meat or whatever, I don't know what the hell. It doesn't give
the same kind of fish. It's not crunchy. It doesn't give like a taste of fish. It doesn't give the texture. I don't know what it is. It's like blended up jackfruit and trash.
Yeah, these fast foods are failing miserably. And so actually it's kind of difficult for us when we're trying to do food reviews because we don't like a lot of places, so we don't go. So like really, honestly, Bobby, does wonders when he cooks. And so I really would love to go back to having him do like his food review on his food or showing you guys how to make cool dishes now that we have a brand new, really big kitchen. Because yeah, you guys in the next, maybe year or so, it might be coming sooner than that. We're going to start having to really figure out how to make our own food and do what we need to do because these grocery stores and this food is getting ridiculous. And I'm sure the tariffs are not helping us at all. So we don't know, we might be eating donkey meat, rat meat, no meat. Bobby said that the other day, I think whatever meat we had, it tasted like it was digitally printed or something. You said it was 3D printed or something.
Like the chicken was so gummy and so it tastes like resin. Yeah. My scissors wouldn't cut it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, what is that?
So, like we said, if you guys have any movies that you guys want us to review, let us know and we will review it. I'm thinking about doing like maybe TV shows because we found a couple of good TV shows that we like, a series, and they're really good. So we're into that.
Yeah, let's talk about Atypical.
We can talk about Atypical.
Let's talk about Atypical every week we're done with the Atypical.
Yeah, so the Atypical.
TV show.
Yeah, so the Atypical. I'm watching the end of Power, Raising Kanan. I think this is the last season. I'm hoping this is the last season. I want them to be done with it. But what makes me stay watching Power is just the phenomenal acting. Those actors in this particular one, the Raising Kanan one, I think that they're really, really good. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of unknowns that I had never seen before, except for I think London Brown. I think I had seen him before, but like the mother Rock, had never seen her in anything. Found out she was a Broadway star, and then the brother that plays Lou, had never seen him before in anything. And Kanan had never seen him, had never seen the one that plays Jukebox or Laverne. And so just a lot of good acting from some actors on the rise. So that's the reason why I watch it. The storyline, I love to hear their accent and how they try to, get that New York or that whatever city they're in. That accent. And so we're on that for a little bit, or I'm on that. It has a lot of violence in it, you guys. So Bobby's kind of off that. But like I said, I just like the storyline, so I'm trying to kind of see where it goes with it and how the writers are going to tie that back to Power, and how nowadays it's great or it's cool to write your movie or write your series and then they go backwards and then write the prequels and all the other kind of stuff. So I'm really anxious to see how they're going to tie what happened with Kanan's character to the Power that we saw when we first saw 50 Cent and Ghost and all the other kind of stuff, whatever. So I'm excited about that. But Atypical is a show that Bobby found that we're watching on Netflix, and it actually has some newbies in it as well, except for Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's been around forever, and Michael Rappaport's been around forever. So they're like the main characters in the show, and they're really, really good. But I want to talk about I want to talk about the narrative in that too, because it's just weird, y'all. Like, I'm tired of seeing.
I think people are just telling their real stories.
But I'm tired of seeing shows. I'm tired of seeing shows that are so cheaty, man.
I mean,
like, can't we have a show that's not cheaty though?
Nah.
So is everybody cheating, y'all?
Yeah.
talk to us and let us know. Is everybody cheating? Because I don't think that they are. I think there are more.
Everybody's gone through their phase.
I think there are more relationships where people are genuinely happy. Do they go through ups and downs? Yes. But I feel like they're genuinely happy and trying to work things out. And so I don't think that there's as much cheating and divorce, and we talked about this before, as they're showing us. I don't think so. But I think that they're showing it because they're trying to make it okay. And it's not okay, y'all. It's really not okay. And I'm not saying that divorce is not okay, because Bobby and I have been divorced before. So, and we're married now. But I would never advise anybody to go through that. I mean, it is the most.
It's really like, if you imagine two men standing in a field, one man, no, she's all right. One man is doing a project and he blows his hand off. The other man does that project and the project blows up, but then he gets to come back to work to see himself do it again. The other man has to look at himself now with no hand, trying to figure out how to get things put back together. He'll never be able to feel that failure that man with the hand feels ever again. That man with the hand come back tomorrow and blow up another mine, and that dude will never be able to feel that level of failure again. His level of failure will always be deeper. And this is what divorce does to you.
Yeah.
It's like taking a physical part of yourself, ripping it off, and just throwing it somewhere and just trying to figure out how to make things work without that part. And even if the marriage didn't work, you've now torn a union. You tore a contract. Mm-hmm. You couldn't figure out how to. And see, we've all been through it because we're young, stupid, and listen to stupid-ass young people who didn't know nothing.
Right.
But if people who knew something would have told us something, they would have let us know, first of all, if you're going to jump into this, know that you're going to jump into a boat that's only got one seat. Yeah. And you got to know that. And if you don't know that when you're jumping into this, don't get into it. I listen to a lot of men who are single, and they have single women ideas. Mm-hmm. Like their manly thoughts are more geared towards like womanly ideas. These are grown men who are too grown to be still single for as long as they've been. You weren't created to do that. We weren't created to do that. That's the reason why you and I got into marriage with the idea of, if this fails, I will get into marriage. From the start, when we were in our early 20s, we never had the idea of, if this fails, then it just fails. Right. I'm not trying this again. Oh, what was me? Yeah. No, because that union needs to be. You have to have a partnership. There's so many things. There's so many things in business that they won't even let you do unless you have a co-signer, co-writer, co-developer. You have to have these things to be accepted. So why wouldn't it be the same way for, God created to a man or woman, or, we've taken things because of our complacency, disregarded a lot of actual bricks that we're supposed to be living by and building our homes with. Because of our laziness, thrown away all of those things, a lot of those things, for like fluff and for like whipped cream and for like quick feelings.
I feel like Atypical, it's a great show for you to watch, for you to kind of understand what not to do.
Right.
So a lot of times when, you're watching these shows, movies, or whatever, I'm always looking at the message. What are they trying to say? And so with Atypical, it's about a family that's having to deal with a child that has autism. And so it's hard enough being married, right? But now you have to deal with a child that has autism, and then you have another child who you're having to rear at the same time.
Who's almost on the opposite side of the spectrum.
And so it's difficult. Right. And so it's difficult because it shows the sister's the sister having to deal with the fact that she is her brother's caretaker a little bit. So she kind of is trying to figure out how to have her own life but still be there for her brother. And then you have the husband and wife dynamic where the mother is so overly protective of the son that she kind of does everything for him. The father is trying to figure out, why do I have this son with this disability? I don't like it. Is it something that I did? And I'm low-key embarrassed by it. And then you have the son who's just kind of trying to figure stuff out. And so my hats off to the writers for this, because they really dive into some very great situations that they show us in the show, where they're showing this autistic boy grow into a man and kind of try and figure it out. But they're also showing the behind the scenes and what happens to that family that's trying to rally around this one person and how they're dealing with their lives. And it's difficult. It's difficult because most of their lives revolve around this little boy,
So their life on the show is crashing. Yeah. And they're putting it back together. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah. So it's a really good show. You guys on Netflix. If you guys have Netflix, we're on the 3rd season, I think, or 4th season. I'm not sure if it's...
Really?
I think we're on the 3rd season. I'm not sure if it's continuing, but it's a really, really good show. So I think we're going to try and kind of maybe review some shows too that we're watching and let you guys know how good they are. And if you guys are looking to binge watch something or whatever, then we can let you know whether it's good or bad. And so we're going to get off here because we only have a few more minutes. But I didn't know, you guys, if I wanted to talk about this or not, but I do. Just because I do. And you guys take it however you guys want to take it. So I think we may have mentioned it last week. I don't remember if we did or not, about the stabbing with the young guy, Carmelo Anthony, stabbing. I think the white little boy's name was Austin. I don't know if it's Austin Metcalf or what have you. I'm not sure, y'all. But just kind of been following it a little bit. And I know that I commented on it to Bobby when it first happened, right? I commented, I'm like, hey, I said, Bobby, I said a little boy, stabbed another little boy. Not little boys, but they're high school. And I said, it was a black boy that stabbed a white boy. And so there's so many, y'all. There's so many stories people are talking about on their podcasts and everything. And like I said, usually I don't go with the typical conversations, but I just had to throw my hat in there a little bit, because when I told Bobby, he had such a different response from what I thought he would have. And so I just want you to kind of talk about why you responded that way when I told you that a black boy stabbed the little white boy.
My first thing was, why was he being attacked? Okay. Who was attacking this little boy for him to feel he needed to be this personal in his retaliation? Mm-hmm. I felt personal. I felt his pain personally as a young black boy who's had to deal with silly, white boys who are misguided. Mm-hmm. So I instantly felt like, what was going on? Who was attacking this boy? And for him to go there. So I don't know. Right. And Talitha let me, she was so mad. I was like, man, what? I'm just saying. I wasn't mad at all. It doesn't make sense. None of it made sense. Yeah. You told me. I haven't seen the story.
Yeah, he hasn't been following it. Different things are starting to come out now, you guys. But at the end of the day, the only thing I could think about, and I'm going to be very, very honest with you, I haven't seen anything yet in all of the story getting. Now, maybe it might go to where, they were bullying him before and all these other kind of things, but I haven't seen anything that would prompt me to feel bad about someone taking another person's life. And that's what I'm saying. And so unless it was clear self-defense, where this little boy, had the knife and stabbed the black boy, stabbed the white boy, Carmelo stabbed Austin, from self-defense, with them trying to take his life or trying to beat him, to a pulp or something like that, then that might be a little bit understandable. But if that was not the case, if they were not trying to take that little boy's life, Carmelo's life, then there's no excuse.
Sad to say, man.
There's no excuse for you to.
It's such a messy situation because of all the misguided racism that he to me it just seems like it could have been anything. He could have came from a different part of the region, been forced to move to the South, heard all these stories, read all these stories about young black boys getting treated a certain way, and this and that, boom, boom, he gets there and starts experiencing it. It could have been that. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't
know. I don't care to know, but I'm just saying it just seems a little.
Well, it's going to be a high profile story though, and I think that the only reason why I'm talking about it is because there are so many of us African Americans that are siding with Carmelo Anthony. So when it first happened, there are so many of us that were like, we've been getting done like this for years. We've been getting bullied. We've been getting racially profiled. We've been getting all these things. And so they started to immediately start to raise money for this young guy, Carmelo, before hearing all of the facts or whatever. But that's why I say, so that's why it's becoming a big, big story. So now it is, you'll probably see it somewhere. You'll probably hear it on some of the podcasts you listen to, them talking about, what's the justification, or how did we get here? How did we get here? How did we get to a point to where we are supporting somebody who took another person's life?
What do you mean, how did we get here?
How
you
did
can list names forever. You can go down the list right now and list all the young black boys who've been made to, made into a martyr in the streets or whatever, for whatever reason. And that's how we got here.
No, I'm saying I get that part, but a lot of
there was no real stuff done, no real justice.
Okay,
people who were doing these things.
And so, do you feel
walking around?
So do you feel like maybe people are so tired of that part that they're like, okay, well, this is flipped now. It's flipped now. It's not somebody. It's not the white young man, Austin. He didn't stab the black boy. It's the black boy that stabbed the white boy. So now it's kind of like, okay, this is some type of justice where we're like, okay, like you said, there had to have been a reason why this black boy Carmelo just went all stab on this, went scream on this white boy. Like, what did this white boy do to make him be that angry to stab him in the chest? Or they keep saying that he stabbed him in the heart. So to stab somebody in the heart, that's got to be very personal. It's got to be a lot of anger on Carmelo's part, or a lot of fear on his part to stab somebody, to kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you just shoot a gun. Your bullet just had no name, you shoot. But with the knife, you got to be up close and personal. So what were they doing? What was going on for him to be able to stab him like that and to kill him and to take his life? And so I just kind of wanted to talk about that briefly, you guys, because I don't know. I'm going to follow the story, and, if we have something to report back, we will. But at the end of the day, for me, and like I said, this is my show, my opinion, right? I can't, like I said, unless there's something that's very, very wrong about what the twins did to this little boy Carmelo, I don't
side with him at all.
I can't support.
So understanding somebody is not side with him.
Yeah, I can't.
So,
no. I'm talking. I'm talking about the support. There are people who are giving to his fund. That's siding with him. That's supporting him.
This happens every 15
That's supporting
years,
him, and I don't think that it happens every 15 years.
Yeah, it does. Every 15 years, somebody does something that's dramatic, and then it draws out a big, long case, and
it's kind of George Floyd all over again. It's gonna be Trayvon Martin.
It's kind of different than that. It's kind of like on that, but more like OJ.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? This is this happens all the time with some big crazy. I don't know.
And so, you guys, that's all we have today. I just got back from a long road trip. I'm tired. I'm ready to eat.
I ain't even cooked yet, so I'm gonna cook.
Yeah, but like we said, if you have some movies or some shows you want us to review, hit us up, let us know. When you watch the replay, you guys comment and let us know what you're thinking about this case, what you're thinking about Carmelo Anthony and Austin, and let us know if you have any insight, or even if you have a different point of view on, you know, why people are actually funding the murderer versus funding, you know, the white boy and his family. I know, for one thing, when I did see Austin's father, because he's been on the news a lot, and he was like, I forgive him, and they're Christians and all this stuff. The only problem that I had, and this is just me, y'all, that I never haven't seen a recording yet where I saw this father break down. And I don't understand it. Like, if my son got murdered by anybody, I don't give a damn who it was, black boy, white boy, cops, whatever it is, my son got murdered. His life is gone. So for me to come on there and immediately talk about forgiveness and not show any type of emotion, it was hard for me to watch him when they were interviewing him.
I think a lot of these people be in these dark pledges, man, and they know it. It's like karma. Like, oh man, I did this stuff in college, and they be looking for it. And they live like that, and they get all Christian and all that just so they can protect themselves, but they understand exactly what they did.
Okay.
See it.
So you say you think it's payback?
Man, it's not really payback, but I just think that they really be on it. They ain't know it.
Did he just walk away again? Like, is he finished? Is he done?
Yeah, I'm finna go cook.
Okay, y'all. Anyway, so thank y'all for tuning in. We will see you guys again next week. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.